what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
I guess we should intro the show. Hey, my name is Heero. That's Eric with the Identity Booth. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that relates to your job right now, right? And how the job sphere has changed dramatically. And what all those things that are happening and going down and what they have to do. So Eric sent me a great article that talked about how a group of people are, especially in this generation, millennials, Zoomers, are being overworked big time, and the side effects that it's having on us. But this also speaks to another situation that's happening in China, where their government is now mandating restrictions on work hour, on overtime, and also putting restrictions on video games for young children. There's a lot of good that happened in their new Supreme Court ruling, but a lot of bad, and it speaks to our hustle mentality. Like, we always got to grind and go get it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But Eric, what can you tell us about this hustle mentality?
So I kind of did not really know about it until like 5 years ago, and I moved back to Dallas from Virginia Beach. I was been using Uber, Lyft, was familiar with Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. I've been using those things. But it wasn't until I got to Dallas that I saw so many people just out here gigging, man. I talked to Uber drivers, asked them how it was. Man, I met one dude, he was making $1,700 a week, but he was driving 12 hours a day. I'm like, that's still a lot of money. So, I mean, there were some people I know who turned it into a legit business and were doing fine, but there was some other people who were just on the struggle. They were doing Uber Eats. They were out here selling CDs out the trunk of their car. They were out here hustling snacks, trying to sell me Dead Sea soap on the side of the road. I mean, they just out here like working 4 or 5 jobs, man, all to make a full-time income. It was all on their terms, which I guess is cool, but I mean, being self-employed is a lot, man. It's a lot of work, and unfortunately, people just have one thing that they're doing and not. I mean, a bunch of things and not one thing. Just jack of all trades, master of none. And I guess if you're getting by and you can live with, being your own person, I'm never going to advocate for a person to not, be their own boss. I think that's the ultimate goal for most people. But the geek culture has kind of made people kind of, I mean, a lot of people just doing enough to get by, pay their bills, have drinks on the weekend, and enough money for weed. And it's just, that's what in my opinion, that's the estimation of the hustle culture. We got very few real entrepreneurs out here building a business and employing people and moving society forward as a whole. I just think they're, it's kind of some lazy jokers out here, but
I wouldn't really call it lazy. Like, no one wants to work to death, and let's just be real about that, right? No one wants to.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, so
I'm not going to. I got something to fall back on.
But that's not the luxury of every people, and I think because of this idea that you have to grind yourself, and you gotta push it forward. You gotta make sure that you're doing something. You can't just have one stream of revenue. When in reality, 50 years ago, that was more than enough for our forefathers, shall I say. It was more than enough to have one line of income. So why did things change where you need to have gig culture? Like, how do you have a 401k? How do you have health benefits and not enough to pay your rent? That's a consequence of our society. So
maybe they should live somewhere less expensive.
I mean, you can't really dictate that. If you have been living somewhere for a whole entire lifetime, let's take some people who live on the Eastern Seaboard in New York. They've lived there since, the 1950s when everything was affordable, and then they built around it. So should they be gentrified? That's called gentrification. Like,
we see it happens all the time.
We see it, but doesn't make it right. So that's why it's super important to look at this article that we have from Jan. It explains why and how China's drastically limiting online gaming for 18-years. This really started off as a gaming thing, but they've limited things such as how much homework students can be given per day, how many tests they can take annually. Because what they found is the things that are destroying the Chinese and Chinese culture and the Chinese generation is anxiety, depression, and suicide. And these are all being brought upon by people not finding their life to be worth it. Furthermore, most people, young people nowadays, spend their time in front of a screen. And video games is a big thing. The online games for phones and things like that have drastically increased. And I can't sit here and even stunt that I'm not one of those kids who was playing, 6 or 5 hours. I'll play 6 hours of Call of Duty tonight. That's not a problem for me. But I feel like, I have the ability to say no the next day. And shout out to Invincibeard for letting me know that they're having a riot. So it makes you wonder, like, what's the game plan here? Do you think that limitations on homework and things like that need to exist?
Yeah, I think especially in this country, we have an issue in our. I just use the school system because I have a personal anecdote for that. You know, 2010, I worked at my old high school. I was a full time sub and an admin to the assistant principal, and she had me, categorizing, filing these kids' test scores away. These half of the students, half of the seniors, 86 graduating seniors, 50% of them read at or below eighth grade level. 25% of them could not sign their name in cursive. 25% of them read at below fifth grade level and did at or below fifth grade level math. They're not getting the service because we're just forcing them down the road. And the kids nowadays have so much stimulus that it's hard. I watch parents put an iPad in front of their kids at 2, 3, 4 years old so that they don't have to take the time to entertain their child and to really bond with the child. And then they wonder why the kid grows up and has social issues. There's a lot of things that are going on that we as adults put on the kids, and then they grow up and they have these social issues. They feel depressed, they feel anxious, they don't know how to connect, they don't build lasting beneficial relationships, and then we don't pass on good skills, good work ethic. The rare few of us that had strong work ethic, morals, and respect beat into us by our parents, we're the exception, not the rule. And a lot of this is stemming from our society that just wants to flood us with stimulus because the stimulus is what keeps those machines making money off of us. So I say I I'm gonna be careful with my words because I am not necessarily a fan of China and their politics. But for this, I actually think we do need some kind of social parameters. Hey, this is not sending society in at least as far as American society in the direction we want to take it. So let's scale it back. Let's put some restriction in. Let's be responsible for the next generations so that they have something better than we have.
No, absolutely. And I think that's the ultimate point here. You can, well, no matter your political affiliation, if you're all about the kids and the children are our future, then you have to find some type of balancing act in this. You have to see the benefit of this situation and make it work for the kids. Do I think there should be restriction on gaming? Would we feel the same way if kids were just out here reading books as much as they played video games? I don't think so. I think people would be more inclined to say that. But isn't that ostensibly one and the same thing? So I think that they might be doing a little bit too much overcorrecting. But once again, this isn't a government that was designed to be fair and just to their people. So it's a hammer fist. Do you see this as it, because it reeks of that argument? Video games make people violent, but I sit here and headshot people all damn day on Call of Duty. My KD ratio has gone up by 0.2, by the way, humble brag, but that's still not enough for shit to change. So I ultimately, this is just our ideas on this, and this is our perspective on it. It's a great article. You guys should definitely look into it, check it out. But and other than that, Eric, do you got anything else you want to throw on this fire?
Nah, man, I'm gonna say one thing is, hey, make sure if you have children, children spell love Time. And it's just as a society, we need to move toward changing our work culture. I mean, it's been the I believe it or not, and I don't want to say in Germany during the time of World War II, this is where we actually got the notion of the 40-hour work week. And that's been 90 years ago.
Mm.
Dare I say, let's learn from as radical of a group of people as they were, for whatever you feel about that particular group that I'm not going to say because I don't want to get flagged. by the algorithm. But y'all know who I'm talking about, the guy with the little bitty mustache, and all his homies invented the 40-hour work week. If we could take that and adapt that into our way of life, can we not shrink the work week? Could we not go to 4 8-hour days, 4 10-hour days? I mean, can we literally do that? Can we actually? Can we? How productive are people actually being? How long does it take? We have machine learning and algorithms. We can figure out how long it truly takes for a person to learn a skill and to perform a task, and we can build that in. Not be, dictatorial like Amazon or something, but still we can make the work life balance be better. And if we can get that, society as a whole, I think will be less on edge, and people would have more time to actually build relationships, especially in a society where everybody spends most of their time doing this instead of doing what Hero and I are doing. Just saying.
No, definitely. I think a lot of people will take it to heart. If you want to complain about your kid being on a computer, put them in front of a computer. There are people who sit in front of computers and play a game and do what we're doing. There's literally someone right now who has 113,000 people watching him play snow runners, and that person is easily making $1,000 tonight. So with that being said, take care of yourself, put on your goddamn masks and stuff. We got one more segment, the Karen segment. We're back, baby. But Eric, where can they find us?
Right here on Twitch, as long as Twitch acting right, but it wasn't Twitch's fault today. It was Streamlabs. It was Streamlabs. They messed us up. Or you can go check us out on our faithful side piece, YouTube, man. We still kind of rocking with you, man. We not full time.
We had a lot of viewers in there today. A lot of viewers in there. We had like 7 people at one point watching us. So hey, YouTube's back. We'll take you. We'll take you, baby.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes your baby mama act right. You feel me?
Yeah. Invite her to the cookout. It's fine.
Hey, she can come to the cookout and she can bring her other kids too.
Yeah.
And
we got food for everybody.
Food for everybody. No shade. No shame. We just come on pull ups. Anyway, make sure you go down, hit that link tree, find out everywhere we are. We're like Visa everywhere you go.
We could catch the vibes, but it's so hard to find through the daily grind. We're working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line, and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we